Hello, I'm Sonia and welcome to Moving, Breathing and Rejuvenating Your Body and Your Mind with me. A lot of my clients, students and friends have been complaining of back pain due to working from home, working from desks that haven't been ergonomically set up for long hours of computer work. So in today's practice we are going to mobilize the spine, open up the body in general with a little more emphasis on middle and upper back, because what are most of us guilty of when sitting at our desks? Do I hear slouching? Yes, that is right. And then sticking the heavy head forward, creating even more tension further down the back and the body chain. So let's begin to rebalance that, shall we? What you will need for today's practice is a towel. Please choose a larger one and something nice and soft as a head support and a hip support. When it comes to space, it would be great if you can open your arms nice and fully. Time to hop into something comfy and I'll see you back on the mat. Let's begin to roll up the towel, which we will use to help us open the middle and upper parts of the spine. It might be a bit of a trial and error until you find the thickness and the length that just works for you. You might even prefer using a smaller towel. Ensure that you have a head support nearby and awaiting, just like I do here. Then turn around and sit right in front of your towel. Grab hold of your thighs. Now let's begin to roll the pelvis under and ease the spine down over the towel, nice and gently. Support your head in the process and you might inch yourself up and down a little until you find that ideal place where your upper back is fully over the towel but lower back is not touching the towel. You might want to use your head support and even bring the hands at the front of the hips and massage away with your fingertips, easing away any gripping or tension that might be there from all the sitting. Let's now play with the arms a little. You might want to take the arms further away from the body or even towards the back. And just stay in the inquiry, is this really helping me to open up the chest and shoulders? If, however, you find that your shoulders are rolling forward and you're unable to roll them back, or you find that your shoulders are reaching up into your ears and you're unable to release, or if your elbows are hanging off the floor and you're unable to release the arms fully into the ground, well, that's not going to be very comfortable. So you want to bring your arms lower down, but keep the palms up. Find yourself in a place of a complete surrender where you can just truly let go. Notice the natural ebb and flow of your breath. Notice how connected you're feeling to yourself right now. And take a mental note of where your arms are, because we will come back here in a very short while. I'd like to take you through the breathing sequence for today's practice. So if you place the hands on your belly and allow the belly to move outwards as you breathe in. So you're breathing into your hands. Pause at the top. And then as you breathe out, let the belly move away from the hands. And then do that again. Inhale fully into your belly. Pause. And then breathe out away from the hands. And we'll do this one more time. So nice full breath into the hands, maybe in a different parts of the belly. Pause and then exhale. Feel the movement, like that imaginary balloon under the belly is deflating. Now place the hands around your ribs. Maybe the back of the hands around the back of the rib cage, so you can still feel the shoulders are fully relaxed. And then breathe into your hands, feeling the ribs open and move against those hands. Pause. And then as you exhale, feel the melting, the softening of the ribs. Again, there's a sensation against the hands. And then let's do it again. So you're breathing into your hands, feeling the ribs expand, your back broadens, your whole trunk gets a little wider almost. Pause and then exhale and let the ribs become so soft. One more time. Breathe in, maybe uncovering different parts of the spaces in between the ribs where you can breathe into. Pause and exhale, noticing the softness of the ribs. Now let's place the hands higher up into the area of the chest, so perhaps around the collarbones or the sternum or a couple of ribs at the top. And then inhale fully into the hands here, feeling a gentle upward movement as you inhale, as your sternum rises gently upwards. Pause at the top, and then as you exhale, again notice the movements against your fingertips. And then again, move your breastbone as you breathe in. Pause. And exhale fully, noticing the real motion of downward motion of the ribs of the sternum as you exhale. And last one. Inhale. Pause. And exhale. And now bring the arms into that place of complete relaxation and letting go. And we're going to now breathe into the belly for 3 counts. We'll hold for 3. We're going to continue breathing into the ribs for 3 counts and hold for 3. We're going to continue breathing into our chest for 3 and hold for 3. And then we'll exhale for a count of 6 fully through the whole body, and I'll do the counting. So let's take a breath into the belly. 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, ribs, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, chest, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Into the belly, inhale, 1, 2, 3, pause, 1, 2, 3, ribs, inhale, 1, 2, 3, pause, 1, 2, 3, chest, 1, 2, 3, pause, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Breathe in belly, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, ribs, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, chest, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just allow your breath to be where it needs to be right now. And then take your arms around your ribs, just like you're giving yourself a hug. Embrace yourself, and then gently move those ribs from side to side, or even create a little spiral. Perhaps you think that you're tracing an infinity sign with your elbows. Find the reverse at some point. you're doing the spirals. And cross the arms the other way. And again, create a movement. Either just side to side. Feeling that nice space opens up in between shoulder blades. You can always send the breath where the breath is needed. And then if you're spiraling, find a little bit of a reverse motion. And then place the arm nearer the screen to the floor. Place the leg nearer the screen to the floor. And gently roll over onto your side, facing your screen. And take the towel away from your back and place it in between your knees or your inner thighs as you rest the head down onto the head support. Now organize yourself on your mat. Your legs will remain bent and you will need some space for your top arm to reach over the top of your head. Your heels are approximately aligned with your bottom and your head is resting at the beginning of the head support. Your shoulders are nicely stacked on top of one another and away from ears. Now, what I often see in classes is where people drop their head forward and they go back to curving that upper spine. As we've just spent that time on the towel, lengthening the upper back, ensure the chest remains lifted. Another thing to pay attention to is overarching of the middle and lower back where the ribs are popping forward. So keep the ribs soft and remain in that neutral spine. Let's begin to move. Take a breath in and move the top arm forward. And then as you breathe out, start to trace the imaginary circle with that arm. When it is approximately above your ear, just pause and have a little check here. What are your ribs up to? If you're flaring the ribs, that doesn't work, okay? This movement is meant to open up the middle and upper back and actually mobilize the ribs. So make sure that you let the spine rotate like a bit of a corkscrew. And then trace the circle all the way around with the arm and come back to start. Let's go again. Inhale, reach the top arm forward. And breathe out. Start to travel with the arm. And another little checkpoint here. Are you one of those that doesn't let the head move? If so, that also doesn't work because it keeps you in that rounded position and could strain the shoulders. So let your eyes travel with your arm. Now enjoy that open chest position. Inhale and exhale and start to come back. Inhale again, reach the top arm forward. Enjoy breathing into that space between the shoulder blade and the spine. And as you breathe out, let's spiral like the corkscrew all the way around, keeping the ribs soft. And again, inhale and reach forward with the arm. And breathe out, start to move the arm around. And we'll have a little variation here. When the arm is reaching diagonally back and up, pause and bring the bottom hand on top of your thigh. See how much pressure you want to apply and enjoy breathing here into any tight areas that open up. It could be the outer hip, the buttock, or even around the lower back, or even the space between the ribs and the hip. You might even enjoy massaging away any little knots or tensions there. I love doing that. Inhale again and exhale. Let's come back. Let's now take that towel away and grab hold of your top foot and gently take it towards the back, towards your bottom, and start to enjoy the sensation of stretching the front of your thigh, an area which can get very tight from all the sitting and really impact the lower back. On the subject of lower back, ensure that you're not arching the back because that really doesn't work. So you might have to ease off a little bit, bring the thigh a bit more forward and maintain that degree of core control through the front of the trunk. Let's now move into the final posture on our side, which is a fetal position. So grab hold of your legs with your arms and bring your nose into your tail and just enjoy that sensation of being all curled up, nice and safe and comfortable. Explore the breath and let the breath nurture different parts of your back. Just let go. It's time to do everything on the other side, so bring your top hand somewhere in front of your shoulder and push the floor away, come up and move yourself over to the other side. Take your head support with you and take your towel, which will go in between your knees. Remember, your knees will remain bent, you won't need any space for your legs, but you will need a space for your arm to move. Have your heels approximately aligned with your bottom, nicely stack the hips on top and knees on top of one another. Rest the head at the beginning end of your head support, feel the chest is nicely lifted. And just check it with your shoulders. I often see this in classes where people's shoulders are right up in their ears. So make sure they are down and away and you've got a nice long neck. Let's begin to stretch the top arm forward. Inhale. And then as you breathe out, let the arm start to travel towards your ear. And pause a little bit and just check in with yourself here. Has your head moved? Remember, your eyes want to follow your arm. And just continue to rotate. Really feel you open up the chest fully and let the arm continue to move around your body and come back to starting position. Inhale and reach forward. Exhale and just enjoy that sensation of lengthening the side of that body as your rotation begins. And again, check with yourself, are you flaring your ribs? If you are doing that, you could really be compromising that shoulder. So allow the spine to move, to let go, soften the ribs. Think of that corkscrew action and come back to start. Inhale again and exhale. Enjoy that lazy angel. Did I tell you we call it the lazy angel? So make it really nice and lazy. And let's do that again. Inhale, reach the top arm forward and start to move. This is the one where we will do the little variation. So when your arm is reaching diagonally towards the back and up, pause. Bring your bottom hand onto the top thigh. Put a little bit of pressure there and just enjoy that diagonal sensation of lengthening. Let the breath nurture parts of the body that need it. Again, you can give yourself a bit of a self-massage where it's calling you for it. Let's take another inhale and then breathe out. Finish off that lazy angel. Take the towel away now and grab hold of your top foot. Take it towards the back to open up the front of the thigh. Now remember, you always want to honor your body, so if it doesn't feel right around the knee, you might have to ease off a little. If you are taking the leg too far back, you could be really overarching the lower back, so again, ease off a little. In fact, you might be better off to just gently push the foot into your hand and get a sense of a deeper opening of the thigh, and then work with the breath. And let's make the way to that fetal position. So grab hold of your legs, cross over your arms, get all small, curled up, cozy and comfortable. And begin to breathe into different parts of your back. Might be nice to breathe into the space in between shoulder blades. And breathe out. Breathe lower down towards into your kidneys. And let each exhale release a little deeper, a little more. Let's begin to make our way up. So stagger the legs and bring your top hand in front of your shoulder, push the floor away and start to come up. So welcome to a version of a Little Mermaid, which is a beautiful position to open up those tight hips from sitting. So first thing we want to do here is check how are those hips feeling. So maybe move a little bit, and if you're anything like me, you might opt to use the hip support, which I like placing underneath the lower side so that the other hip can drop down into the floor a little deeper. There is nothing wrong not using it and having hips slightly askew. It's all up to you and what you prefer right now. And let's start to move. So if you place your hands on your hip bones, so the thumbs are at the back and the middle fingers are at the front. We'll begin with a little micro movement of the pelvis. So we'll roll the pelvis back towards the thumbs and then roll the pelvis forward towards the middle fingers. And you're rolling the pelvis back and roll it forward. So notice how rolling back slightly curves the lower back, and when you roll the pelvis forward it creates a little bit of an arch. And just play with that a few more times. Notice how it feels around the hips as you do that. Now come with me again. I'm going to go really slowly this time. So we're going to roll the pelvis forward and rotate it towards your left. So the left hip is moving away from the right knee, and then you roll the pelvis back towards those thumbs and rotate it to your right. And again, roll the pelvis forward and rotate. Roll the pelvis back and rotate the other way. And see if you can now make it a little bit more of a play. Breath in, breath out. Notice how the spine responds to that pelvic movement. Let's now find the stillness through the pelvis, the neutral pelvis, and let's bring the hand behind the head, lengthen up through the neck, through the spine, and we're about to go into side bends. Now, what I often see in classes here is where people drop their head forward and immediately that heavy head pulls the spine into a curve, into that stoopiness, which beats the purpose. So I'm teaching you here to give your head some guidance. So let's inhale, and as we move into the side bend, keep gently pressing the back of your head into your hand. Enjoy opening the ribs and then come back. Switch the arms on the inhale, and on the exhale move over to the other side. Now pay attention to what your bottom shoulder is doing. Oftentimes I see people's bottom shoulder rolled forward and head just slumped on top of it, which is not very strengthening and nice for the shoulder. What you want to do instead is really push the floor away with that bottom hand. The middle finger is in the direction of where you're going towards, whilst the bottom elbow is really the key. It wants to be reaching forward over here towards me, towards the screen. Inhale, exhale, and come back to center. Okay, we go over to the other side. Hand behind the head. You are reaching the back of the head into that hand, and then come back. Breath in, switch the arms, breath out, and side bend. Okay, think middle finger, the elbow, the shoulder is rolled back, reach, breathe out, wrap up a little bit of that core as you come back, and hand behind the head. It directs the head to keep moving away from the neck. Breath in and breathe out, side bending, open different parts of your ribs. Okay, here we go. One more time on this side. I'm going to reach a little further away. I'm really wrapping my shoulder back, bringing the elbow forward. Strong hand and strong opposite hip. And come back. Okay, one more this way. And side bend. And we'll have a little variation here. I call it the snail. You'll soon see why. You're going to wrap your pelvis under, rotate through the whole spine, and look behind your hip over there, behind, and then breathe in and unravel. So your arm traces an arc, your pelvis reaches forward, and it spirals the other way. The spine follows, your eyes follow the arm. Exhale into that snail. Now bring both hands against the shin and use that push and pull throughout the movement so that you get more out of it. So it's always working with the opposition. Exhale, wrap yourself up into a little snail. And then on the breath in, unravel. And this time we are going to go back into a side bend. So find that nice spine. You're in between two glass doors and you're reaching. Watch what the bottom shoulder is doing. So bend the elbow sufficiently. And then let's come back to center. And wasn't this powerful? Time for the other side. If you'd like to use the hip support on this side as well, then go ahead and adjust that. It's always nice to really compare the two sides. Maybe have a little movement of the hips to and fro, forward and back, and drop through the opposite side. And then let's bring those hands around the hips and start with our pelvic tilts. So roll back towards the thumbs. Breathe in and roll forward towards the middle fingers. Exhale and roll back. And an inhale, roll forward. And notice how your lower back starts to follow the movement. So it curves towards the back and then slightly extends as you roll forward. And again, roll back, roll forward. And now we start our little rotation. So your right hip moves away from that left knee. And as you roll the pelvis back, you go the other way. Inhale, roll the pelvis forward and rotate. And exhale, roll the pelvis back and rotate the other way. And just allow the spine to follow the movement of the pelvis. Notice what each movement brings around the hips or around the thighs where the gentle stretches might occur. Great. And let's now find the neutral pelvis, settle it down, and let's get ready for the side bends. So we bring that hand behind the head again, feel how the chest lengthens, the neck lengthens. Breathe out and side bend. Just allow the bottom hand to either remain on the shin or on the floor. Inhale into that stretch and exhale, come to center. Inhale, switch the arms and exhale, move over to the other side. Anchor yourself through the hand on the floor and the opposite hip. Notice what your bottom shoulder is doing. If it's rolling forward, it's a big no-no, so adjust that. You want to have the middle finger, the elbow and shoulder in more or less a straight line. Breathe in and then breathe out. Push the floor away with that hand on the floor. Wrap up the core as you come back. And let's change the arms. Inhale, exhale. And go back to that first side. Head stays supported. You're gently bringing the back of your head into that hand. Enjoy breathing into the ribs. Exhale, come back. Inhale, switch the arms, breathe out, and if you'd like to take that hand on the floor a little further away, make sure you're really wrapping the shoulder back. Inhale, Exhale and open up again here. Nice breath into different parts of the ribs, always uncovering what's new about this. Breath in, breath out over to the other side. And if you'd like maybe even lengthening that elbow, you can, but make sure that then you are really opening more of those ribs. Exhale, come back, and let's do that one more time over here. Head supported, breath in, and we get ready for a little snail. So we'll have a transition here where we start rolling the pelvis back and curl and rotate the pelvis, rotate the spine. Let the head follow. Look behind your hip. Inhale. Now pelvis rotates forward and to the other side, and extend, lift the chest. Exhale, roll the pelvis back. Rotate through the spine. Inhale, pelvis moves forward and the spine follows with a beautiful rotation. Exhale, into that little snail. Inhale, extend, expand the chest. And we finish with a side bend. Exhale and reach. Just remember those shoulders. Don't get stuck anywhere. And enjoy lengthening that side. Breathing in, reaching maybe a little further away, and exhale, come back to center. Great. And then we get ready to work from the hands and knees position. Bring the knees approximately underneath the hips, and let's bring the awareness to the wrists and the hands. So spread the fingers apart and do the same with your feet, and feel like you're pushing the ground away with your hands, with your feet and your shins. Let's inhale, and on the exhale, let's start to roll the pelvis under and move into that lovely curl. So we're moving into the cat stretch, gradually working towards the neck. Ensure that you're not simply dropping the head and collapsing through the upper body, as I often see people doing classes. So instead, feel that you're still supported from the ground. You can have slightly soft elbows. Crown of the head is almost reaching slightly diagonally forward. And inhale. And on the exhale, roll the tail up towards the ceiling and open through the front of the spine, gradually working your way towards the chest. And then reach the chest forward as the hands are pulling back towards the knees. Now, what I often see in classes is where people start looking towards the ceiling and their shoulders come right up into their ears and they collapse through the upper body again. So you just want to keep your eyes over the horizon and neck nice and free. Let's take a breath in. Breathe out, and again let's roll the tail under and open through the back of the spine, coming into the curve. And take an inhale. Breathe out, and let's move into the arch, so rolling the tail up and the spine opens through the front and chest is reaching forward. Exhale again. Move back into that curve, starting from the tail, working your way towards the crown of your head. Pull the ribs into your back, inhale into that curve, and exhale, and let's find the arch. So tail lifts up and the chest reaches forward, hands are pulling back. Inhale, exhale into the curve, and this time let's move on to the heels. And let's turn the fingertips slightly inwards here and get a sensation as if you were pulling the floor apart with your hands. Now let's take a breath in and start to reach the pelvis up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, ripple through the spine, find the arch, and use the hands to pull the chest forward and come back up. Now turn towards the screen and just have a little look. If this is what you are doing, collapsing through the shoulders, losing the neck. That doesn't quite work. Okay, so you really want to keep the space between shoulders and ears, and really use those hands against the floor as the elbows are gently pulling apart. And let's take a breath in. Exhale, move on to your heels. Breath in, start to lift the tail up. Exhale, here you go. Come through that arch, and chest is leading the way. Inhale, exhale, back into the curve. Inhale, move the pelvis up. Exhale and ripple through. Find the arch. You can come more forward. It'll be harder on your arms. You can really feel the back of the arms with this moving cat. It's called, this movement. And the lower you come through with your chest, the harder it will be on the back of the arms. Let's move with a little bit more flow. So exhale, go back towards the heels. Inhale, shave the chest across the floor, come into an arch. Exhale, into your curve. Inhale, come forward, and exhale. And find a moment of that neutral spine, neither curved nor arched. Okay, let's take the hands slightly forward, and now let's tuck the toes under and open the soles of the feet, the spaces behind the toes. Hands are pushing away, and free up your neck. And then reach forward, take the knees off the floor, wrap up the ribs through the front, and now push back and keep reaching through your sit bones up towards the ceiling. We are about to open the back of the legs. Resist curving the spine and emphasize reaching the sitting bones up towards the ceiling. So perhaps bend the knees more and then reach the sit bones even more towards the ceiling, and then straighten the back of one knee. Soften that knee and then go to the other leg. Straighten the back of the knee. And soften it. And then again, straighten the other knee. This time, press the heel towards the floor as well. And the other side, straighten the back of the knee as you press through the heel. And just continue with that action. Heel, toe, as all your fingertips are rooting into the floor. Remember the shoulders, stay away from ears. Open collarbones and make it a bit of a play. Start walking through the feet now, paddle through and walk the feet towards the hands. Now the spine will curl, and then you can also walk the hands in towards the feet. And arrive to the parallel foot position, where you take all the weight off the hands, wrists and shoulders, and just allow your upper body and your spine to drape over your legs. Straighten through the back of the knees if that is okay for you. And with each exhale, feel a little bit more release through the shoulders. Now let's circle the wrists several times. Soften the knees again. And then circle through the wrists the other way. And then gently shake through those wrists and through the elbows. Shake through the shoulders several times, gently. And then move the head in a bit of a no-no action. Yes, yes. And then if that felt okay, you could sway your upper body from side to side around the hips. And then come to a natural stop. Completely relaxed around the shoulders and the wrists and hands and the neck, of course. And now enjoy that generous breath in across your back. And on the breath out, with knees bent, start to roll the spine up and come into a fully vertical position. And as you come up and head floats away, you might like to do a couple of shoulder rolls, rolling back, keeping the chest lifted. Find a balance over your feet. And now let's place one hand over the ribs, the front of the ribs, and the other hand on the
breastbone, and then gently draw the two hands away from one another, encouraging that lift and length through that upper spine as you allow the arms to just hang down by your side. Feel the head just continues to float up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes and examine how do you feel inside your body now. Do you feel the feet gently pushing the ground away, and you feel the spaces between your vertebrae from the front, from the back, from the left, from the right, as the head continues to reach away from the feet. And you feel the big broad smile across your chest. And open your eyes slowly now, blink several times, draw a big breath in and let it all go.
This is the end of our practice today. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I did. Perhaps you're feeling more limber in your spine, more open across the chest, but most importantly, more aware of your body so that you can take that into your daily life, into your activities, and back working at your desks. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Comment below if you have any questions. Thank you again for sharing your time and your space with me today. I am Sonia Palachek, your health and wellness coach. Until next time, remember, move often and move well. Ciao, ciao.